is it all in China right now?
I think people are excited about a rotation into China, but I have to tell you, I'm not a buyer. I mean, I know there are people at BlackRock who are saying this is a renting opportunity and they're going to be tourists, and that's great. But I think there are better opportunities, frankly, still in U.S. equities. I understand that Chinese equities are cheap from a multiple perspective, but sometimes stuff is cheap for a reason. And I'm so thankful that the Chinese government has decided to put a floor on the economy. That's necessary for overall global growth, and I think that's very supportive of some of the global names that I love. That said, you know, we're in a bit of a show-me period for China. Like, we've had some false starts, we've had some big promises, and then we haven't had follow-through. So I'm okay if I miss part of this rally if I'm focused on the bigger beneficiaries from China not falling through the floor.
Okay, so what about the U.S. companies with exposure to China? Like Bank of America just upgraded materials. They're like, they have one of the best betas, they're the top sector related to China, and they've underperformed in certain months. Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, that's historically been the right playbook, right? Resources have been big beneficiaries. I'm not super convinced that that's China's playbook going forward. Spend, spend, spend on materials and infrastructure. And I think a big thing that we need to remember is that the U.S. election is a massive policy event. You know, the relationship between the U.S. and China and what that does to global trade and to global growth is a big question mark. I think under either administration, we're going to see some changes in 2025. So I'd be cautious about making a very big long-term investment before we see the policy move.
I understand that the U.S. might be the best game in town or in the world or whatever the phrase is here. But are there opportunities outside the U.S.? I mean, for those who want a little bit more diversification beyond their home, meaning for U.S. investors, is there somewhere else to go?
Definitely. I mean, we've enjoyed taking risk in Japan throughout this year. We've dialed up and dialed down at different times. We see big opportunities there, and I frankly have a little bit more confidence in the government's policy to actually
in Japan.
Yeah, to get to where we are, a better story in growth. We've also been adding to exposure in India. We think India is a beneficiary of many different things. Obviously, it is a strong domestic story. People kind of cringe sometimes because the multiples are high relative to the rest of the world, but is also being going to be a big beneficiary, I think, of U.S. multinational spend. Everyone is looking to build facilities and expand their footprint there. BlackRock continues to make big investments. I see India as an area to add.